Hello, today we're going to talk about the laws of exponents. Now that we've learned about exponents, it's time for us to understand that there's 5 laws that applies when you are using an exponent. The first law or rule is the zero power. And what the zero power basically says is that any base, no matter the size or the type, raised to the zero power equals 1. So again, whether it's 5 to the 0 all the way to 1,567 to the 0 power. Any number to the 0 power will equal 1. The second rule that we're going to talk about is the product of powers rule. And basically what that's saying is that when you are multiplying like bases, that means 2 bases that are identical, so you will simply add the exponents. By keeping the base and adding the exponents, you will get the solution or the product of raising 2 like bases to a power. So here's an example. If you have 3 to the second times 3 to the fourth, you'll simply keep the common base of a 3 and add the exponents. If you notice, we have 2 3s and 4 3s to get 6. So here's another example. 5 to the third times 5 to the second. Well, what the rule says is that we keep the like base of a 5 and simply add the exponents to get 5. The third rule we're going to talk about is the quotient of powers rule. Now this rule says that when you are dividing like bases, you will then subtract the exponents. So here's an example. If we have 3 to the 8th, and there's 8 3s in the numerator, and we're dividing that by 3 to the third, which is 3 3s in the denominator, you will cancel out the 3s, leaving you with 3 to the 5th power. So in this example, we have 2 to the 5th being divided by 2 to the second. What the rule says is that you will simply keep the common base of a 2. There's that, make it a little better. And now, instead of adding the exponents, since we're dividing, we will subtract the exponents to get 2 to the third. The next rule we're going to talk about is the power of a product rule. Basically what this rule is saying is that when you are multiplying 2 numbers and there's parentheses, that means that everything inside the parentheses is being raised to that power. Therefore, what you would do is just simply apply the exponent that is on the outside of the parentheses to the bases on the inside of the parentheses. Therefore, we will have a to the m power times b to the m power. And again, here's an example down here. 3 times 4, that product is being raised to the 3rd power. So we would just distribute the exponent of 3 to the base of 3 and the base of 4 to get our solution. Now here in example 2, we have 3 times 2, and that product is being raised to the 2nd power. So according to this rule, we would put the exponent of 2 to the base of 3 and also the base of 2, therefore giving us 3 to the second times 2 to the second. Hopefully we've learned that 3 to the second would be 9 times 2 to the second, which is 4, to give us a product of 36. The last rule we're going to talk about is our power of a quotient rule. Basically what this rule is saying is that when you are dividing and that quotient or the solution you get from dividing is being raised to a power, you will simply distribute the exponent to both the numerator and the denominator, therefore equaling a to the m power divided by b to the m power. And they have an example here for us. Instead of dividing first 2 by 3 and then raising it to the 3rd power, if you simply distribute the 3 to the base of 2 and the base of 3, you'll end up with 2 to the 3rd power divided by 3 to the 3rd power. Again, knowing exponents, 2 to the 3rd is 8, and 3 to the 3rd is 27, making your answer 8 over 27. So if we look at this example, we have 1/8 being raised to the 2nd power. Well, according to the rule, you're going to distribute the 2 to the 1 and the exponent of 2 to the base of 8, giving me 1 to the second times 8 to the second. Remembering exponents, 1 to the second is 1, and 8 to the second is 64, making my solution 1 over 64.